Howdy. Today we're looking at the Harmony. It is a new melee weapon, a one-handed scythe, and it is the signature melee of the new Warframe Jade. It's pretty freaking snazzy, and it's really meant to be used with one of the new arcanes that came out with Jade from the new game mode Ascension. And that's what we're going to be mainly showing it with. So, first off, let me show the Necros fashion for anyone that's interested. Big whoa, maybe subscribe, that would be awesome, unless you don't like my stuff, in which case don't subscribe. Anyways, Harmony, 1.08 attack speed, 2.6 range, 20% crit chance, 2.2 multiplier, 36% status, so it's obviously status weighted, 168 puncture, and slashes at 72 for a total of 240 damage. Just looking at this alone, you would think it's not a good weapon, honestly, right? Like, low crit, high status, but high puncture, average attack speed, not really much to write home about, or at least based off the stats alone. Especially when compared to something like Reaper Prime, which has more range and way better stats, and slash weighted. But there are some unique gimmicks to it. So it has the unique trait Harmonic Resonance. Heavy attacks condense all status effects that deal damage over time into a single instance. Heavy attack kills activate Harmonic Resonance, a buff that increases status duration for 30% for all allies. That makes it so that if you heavy attack an enemy and they got 473 slash procs, every single slash proc takes effect immediately out of all the damage it would deal. It's pretty much just a built-in, dang it, what's that helmet ability called? It detonates all of them. Dang, I can't remember. How can I not remember what it is? Literally said its name on stream the other day. Anyways, it's like the Helmet ability, but it doesn't have a multiplier to it. It just straight up detonates it. Now, because it deals the damage that the status effects will deal over the whole course of the duration, that means you can actually increase the damage you deal with status duration, which makes it even snazzier that the weapon gives yourself and teammates 30% status duration after a kill with a heavy attack. So building status duration increases your damage. On top of that, it is a one-handed scythe, and one-handed scythes have forced slash procs on the heavy attack. So we don't need to worry about slash. It's completely irrelevant. Instead, we can build viral to make it so our slash does more damage. We don't need heavy attack efficiency or anything because we have the very, very nice Tennokai. You can put on Discipline's Mare or whatever Tennokai mod you want, so that you get the free heavy attacks that have a very fast wind-up speed and do some juicy damage. Now, Melee Afflictions. This is the new arcane that came out with the Ascension game mode. At rank 5, enemies affected by status effects gain 6 additional stacks when they're knocked down or flung by melee attacks. So they have to be flung or knocked down by the melee attack itself. It can't be a different weapon that does it, and then you do something to them, or you do that after you knock them down. But what's nice about that is that your weapon already does that on heavy attack. See? They're knocked down. When you hit an enemy with a heavy attack on a melee, it knocks them down. On top of that, the weapon itself, I'm actually not sure if this is one-handed scythes in general. I think this is unique to Harmony. When you hit enemies, it knocks them in the air and puts a jade light around them. So even your normal attacks can proc that. Pretty snazzy. Very, very good damage. Didn't even have my combo builds up. So this is very heavily based around doing big PP damage to an enemy. And because Melee Afflictions gives 6 stacks, not a ton of stacks, that's why you want to do a big slash proc. Which is why it works that it's 4 slashes on a heavy attack, which is like 1 big attack. So even if this weapon was slash weighted, you still wouldn't really care that much, because if you're applying 40 slash procs in a second from light attacks, then what's an extra 6 going to do? That's pretty irrelevant. That's why if you're applying 1 big slash proc and then it's 6 more of that slash proc, you're going to do a lot more damage. Now we have Condition Overload here, so we get base damage, which, affects slash. And we're applying 3 different statuses, slash, puncture, viral. Primed Reach, so that we have more range. Virulent Scourge, Vicious Frost, so we can get viral. If you're running Nourish, you're actually not going to need this. We have Blood Rush for crit chance. You don't actually need Blood Rush. You could just go Sacrificial Steel. This will give you higher crit chance. But with either one of them, we're at around the number where we're going to have guaranteed yellows, but not a high chance for orange. And this makes it so all of our attacks get crit chance, whereas this is only higher for our heavy attacks, but less crit chance for our normal attacks. And since we have Tennokai, we're always going to be at 12 times combo anyways when using the weapon. That's why I prefer Blood Rush. Amalgam Organ Shatter is here because we get crit damage and heavy attack wind-up speed. Melee Elemental... Dude, I'm stuttering over my words so bad right now. Melee Elementalist for 90% status damage, which is multiplicative, and 60% heavy attack wind-up speed. The heavy attack wind-up speed in both these is pretty irrelevant because Tennokai already massively increases it. So, you know, diminishing returns, but better than nothing. And Weeping Wounds is actually not what I want to run here. You can run this and you'll get more viral procs. But instead of this, I think it would be better to use something for duration, right? So like Lasting Sting. I unfortunately cannot fit Lasting Sting on this build right now, and I do not have any normal Forma. So to fix that, I suppose I'll just run normal reach instead right now. But you'll want primed reach if you can. Here we go. We put that on, and now we put reach on. There we go. So we would have more range if I could fit prime reach on with this. Because like I said, status duration makes the slash proc last longer, which means if it goes out the whole duration, you get more damage, but the whole duration is condensed because our heavy attack. So this will give us even higher damage. Now, oh yeah, in case you're wondering, nothing on my Necros is affecting our damage, as you can see. And no companion either. This will purely be the weapon itself. Let us go in. Now, if you feel like you need attack speed, you can run attack speed on it, but I honestly don't think it's necessary. Now, we were only at a 2 times combo there, so we aren't going to be able to do as much damage if we don't build up our combo. Oh wait, I am on Naramon. Wait a second, I can do this to get faster combo build up. Duh. There. Now we're going to want to try to build up our combo real quick, and then we can start whacking. Look at 40 million. Oh, I just did 40 million damage. It's pretty funny. The damage you can do on this thing is pretty insane. Alright, look at this. 30 million, and I couldn't see the other clock because it had more than one hit. 57k. Why did it do so little that time? It still one-shot the guy. Several procs of several million damage. It's just a very big PP slash procs kind of weapon. This will pair extremely well, like absurdly well actually, with Ash because of Ash's passive. So let's go back over here. Ash Prime. So here's the build. In case you're wondering, this is not a fancy build at all. But first of all, you could always put Roar on Ash, because I have no faction multiplier here. Now, I know there's going to be people saying, well, why aren't you running a faction mod? I hate faction mods. I hate having to switch them out all the time. If you wanted the highest possible damage, you could, but I don't like having to deal with that. So instead, Roar, though, counts as a faction multiplier, and it double dips on dots. So, like, on this build, 243, it's going to be 1.729 multiplier to our damage, and then another 1.729 on top of that, giving us a humongous damage buff. Obviously, Roar can be on any frame, not just Ash, but if you wanted, you could put it on your Ash. The main reason we use him is his passive. Slash stats effects inflicted on enemies do 25% increased damage and last 50% longer. That is multiplicative damage buff. I don't know if the 50% longer is multiplicative to status duration though, but if it is, that would be even more insane. Not that we really need the extra damage, but Roar plus Ash's passive, oh buddy. Oh buddy. And you can also use Smoke Shadow, his augment, to get another 150% crit chance while you're invisible for even higher damage. Now let's simulate these enemies. And then we go in, build our combo real quick. Now, I did see somebody in one of my other videos say that stealth multipliers are on when their enemies are stunned in the simulacrum. I don't know if that's true or not. I know a video by A's and Invasion said it's not, but that was like 3 years ago, so it's possible that changed. Wait, damn it, I did not mean to go back and... Fuck. Hang on. While I'm here, I might as well put on a weapon that I can slap on Dexterity for my combo to stay longer. Dexterity. And then, I don't know, Compressor. Also with Dexterity. There, that'll make my life a little bit easier. So, in case, you know, people are like, oh, stealth multiplier's there. We're not going to have them stunned. Or not stunned, staying still. And on top of that, not for this because this is a melee weapon, but in general, stealth multipliers, to my knowledge, don't affect guns, right? In the video that I had done that on, it was a gun that I used. Look at this. It does some pretty decent damage in general. Look at that. Even with a normal attack, it does plenty of slash damage. So now let us reset, cast Roar, cast Smoke Shadow, and now here we go. 70 million on an orange crit. It's going to do a lot of damage. I'm fairly certain that you could probably easily one-tap level cap Demolus with this, with the heavy attack. It's just ridiculous how much damage it does. If you want a big PP melee that does a lot of single target damage via slash procs that can be detonated, then this is the weapon for you. It's obviously not as good for general play when there's big groups of enemies like melee influences, because this is not like AoE, it's more single target based. But it's still a... Dude, what was that? 260 million damage? That's a lot of damage. But it's still a very good arcane, and I definitely recommend picking it up. It will be available permanently, though. Unlike all of the Belly of the Beast stuff, the normal motes, the vestigial ones, not the volatile motes, those will always be available. So you can get this whenever you want. Like if you come back, you watch this video, the Belly of the Beast event is over, this is still available to get, so you don't have to like buy it from another player, and it's not too hard to farm. That's going to be it. Here, I'm going to show my Ash fashion as well, for anyone that's curious. That's going to be it for the video. If you liked, then maybe leave a like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Adios.